Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Higurashi When They Cry. This is episode 7 of our Tatarigoroshi chapter. Let's load up here. Excuse me. All right. So let's go ahead and continue. I'm trying to remember where we left off at our last episode. Oh, we learned about Satoko's uncle is back in town, and Satoko is now living with him, and he's like pretty abusive. I don't know if we got any hardcore evidence that she's being physically abused, but she's definitely being emotionally abused. She's like covered in bruises, and he was being a real turd. So anyway, so now we're back where we were. I went home and washed the day's sweat off in the shower. Normally I could reset everything by taking a shower and forgetting all the bad things. That didn't happen today. Got out of the shower to find fresh underwear placed neatly in the laundry basket. Normally I didn't stop to think about it, but today I felt happy at my mother's consideration. At the same time, however, it made me realize how much Satoko must be suffering. The very moment I was appreciating this gentle kindness, Satoko might be being bruised by her uncle's cruel words. Went up to the second floor and shut myself in my bedroom. Then facing my desk, I folded my arms. The topic of thought, of course, was Satoko. We thought that if we could just get a public agency to intervene in the right way, the problem would be solved, but with what Coach said, I didn't think it would be so easy. Satoko was obstinate, and she would suddenly deny the abuse and try to endure it. So I think what we realized is that Satoko and Satoshi were both being punished and abused by their aunt and uncle. Satoko got a little bit of the abuse, but Satoshi got most of it. He was always there to protect her and took the brunt of it. Now that Satoshi's gone, I think we've kind of figured out that Satoko is like using this as a trial of endurance. Like she's willing to take the abuse in the hope that maybe she's as strong as Satoshi was, because she feels like a burden. So she wouldn't say that she's being abused. She's trying to like prove that she's tougher than Satoshi thought. And that was an act of atonement towards Satoshi had protected her before and then run away. As long as she thought that way, the situation wouldn't be so simple. But earlier, before Coach, I made a clear declaration. If I thought Satoko was in danger, then I would do what I had to do. In the end, that meant I was just going to wait and see too. Nevertheless, I thought I'd drawn a clearer line than Coach and my friends had. If the time came, I would report it. Over the phone. Given Satoko's personality, she might criticize me if she found out. But I believe it was ultimately the best decision. Wait, Keiichi, my bro. That really be all it took for the problem to end? Say I'd reported it to a public agency like the Child Consultation Center. What if they stuck to their wait-and-see attitude like they did last year again? Last year they decided to do just that, and the situation improved temporarily, but then the aunt, thinking herself a laughingstock, increased her tormenting in secret. In the end, things became more underhanded than ever before. This year it was her uncle. I had just seen him for the first time today, but the man seemed much more direct, much more violent than the word underhanded could imply. He wasn't like their aunt. No, not that subtle. He was more direct. He might also assault her with punches and kicks. Could easily be discerned from the bruises and such I saw on Satoko's body. Shit. You're too naive, Keiichi Marbara. However heroic it may seem to report what was happening, if it doesn't save her, then it doesn't mean anything. Reporting things to a public agency was only one option, and leaving everything to them would be dangerous. We need something more to guarantee Satoko's safety. Scratched madly at my head thinking, then tilted it back, wanting at least a little bit of calm. Memories of angry arguing with my friends today came to mind. Oh yeah, we kind of lost it with Mion and Rena and Rika. We were kind of being a dick earlier, I remember that. I was embarrassed that I hadn't realized it until Rena said something. She was right. My house is big. Compared to all the houses with the straw-thatched roofs in Hinamizawa, it was really big. We did actually have empty rooms. Never thought that we were affluent, but also never thought that we were poor. Just didn't admit it because people would think I was arrogant. Maybe my family really is wealthy. We had a few rooms we could lend to Satoko. Guest rooms were only in use when people related to my dad's job come and stay every once in a while. Plus, if we cleaned up a few of the rooms my dad uses for storage, they could work for her as well. As for food expenses, that might have been a more serious problem than a kid like me could imagine. Lunch every day would be manageable. All of our friends just had to bring a little bit more lunch than they usually did. Everyone pecking at everyone's food anyway would be manageable. Breakfast and dinner, though, that would have to be up to Mom. We need to convince her to lend Satoko more than just a room. Of course, I don't even think convincing of her that would be easy. About how much did it cost for one person to eat? Many tens of thousands of yen per month. They couldn't complain about it if I shouldered that, could they? I only had 10 or 20,000 yen in savings, but it was something. I actually had even more thanks to New Year's gifts and such, but my parents had taken all that and put it into a fixed time deposit. If I could get access to that, it should add up to a lot of money. And if I got that far, Mion and Reina would need to share some of the burden. Of course, it didn't seem like it would work. Reina got mad at me, didn't she? About how I shouldn't just shove responsibility onto others. I'd have to ask for help. Even so, I'd basically be saving her myself. I would follow through on it. Oh, but it wouldn't be only food expenses. A lot of other things you couldn't do without, like baths and laundry. My mother was awfully methodical and strict about cutting out inefficiencies, and for once that was troublesome. She might even make reference to the money it would cost for the detergent Satoko would use for her own clothes. Couldn't think only about food expenses. I needed more money. Hey, wait, Keiichi Maibara. So when was all this about money? Even if you could afford it, you would need your parents' permission first. You'd be looking after a young girl for a very long time. Yeah, I somehow don't think that's going to fly. I mean, we don't know a lot about Keiichi's parents. Maybe if they found out that Satoko was being abused, but it'd probably just be a lot easier to have her live back with Rika. They were doing pretty good for a while. What would I say to persuade them? Just calm down a little bit, Keiichi Maibara, and you'll realize right away that you can't. Even if you ask them seriously, they would tell you to call the police. Even if you manage to gain their empathy, why should the Maibara family have to shoulder all the burden by itself? That's what would happen. That was it. It's very sad and frustrating, but no matter how much I wanted to help, my resolution alone couldn't save anything.
そんなにも子供って無力なのかよ。
Felt frustrated. I believed my feelings were stronger than anyone else's. I even thought they were stronger than Coach's. And yet, at that point there were 2 knocks at my door and Mom poked her head inside.
起きてたの？さっきからご飯ってず
We're
っと呼ん
brooding,
でるわよ。
Mom. Leave me alone.
あ、うん。今行
God,
く。
you don't understand me. Someone financially dependent on his parents. I shouldn't say this, but I just sat around doing nothing and food suddenly appeared. Wasn't that the best? Wasn't it the best when you were a kid in school and you would just sit around and food would suddenly appear? Oh my god, I miss that. Fucking pug food sucks. It felt so natural to me that I'd shamelessly thought of it as the responsibility of the parents who gave birth to me. When I realized that natural thing was actually a privilege, I came to realize just how hard it was to grant that privilege to others. Even the boring meal in front of me, no better than it ever was, had more meaning than that tonight. There was food for 3 on the table right now, for Dad, for Mom, and for me. Couldn't imagine how hard it would be to add another place at the table. Think, Keiichi Maibara. If it was hard to make food for 4, then just think about how 4 people could eat food made for 3. Oh. Changed around the way I thought. With that, I began to consider an unthinkably bold plan. That's right. I need to get my parents' permission. She should just live here in secret. How are you going to manage that, honey? I got upset when I found out a while ago, but if I remembered right, you could climb out the window and then shimmy down the first floor roof or the gutter and go in and out of the house directly from my room. Satoko's physical ability far surpassed my own, so it would be even easier for her. I hadn't even thought about it, but her living here secretly was actually a necessity. I'd only have to bring Satoko to my house when the public agency said they would wait and see. In other words, Satoko's uncle continued to be her guardian. If, in such a situation, word got out that she was here, her uncle would barge in and drag Satoko back with him. Her uncle was her rightful guardian, so my parents would hand her over without an argument, no doubt. So we need to keep it a secret that she was living here. If it needs to be a secret, then having my parents' help would mean a lot, but gotta deceive your allies first, like they always say. Who says that? Who says deceive your allies? This is a terrible idea. Okay. Persuading my parents was an unrealistic proposition, so I'll search for a way to have her live here in secret. When I was around, she would just have to be really quiet in my room on the 2nd floor. The issue was the daytime. If she was hiding from her uncle, then she shouldn't go to school. Might be lonely, but not going would be the better option. Could easily teach Satoko the stuff she learns in her grade. Actually, during school, I mostly help all the younger kids out rather than study my own stuff. He's got this, grandiose plan in her head, but the one thing that he's forgetting is that Satoko has to be willing to go with him, and she doesn't want to leave where she is. She wants this abuse. She wants to, prove herself. During the day, I would need to go to school, so I wouldn't be at home. My parents respected my privacy now that I was at this age, so They wouldn't go snooping around in my room while I was gone, I think. If she holed herself up in my room, it would be okay, right? My parents did come. Thanks to where the second floor was, she could hear their approach from the sound of them coming up the stairs. There would be a little bit of time before they got all the way up. I estimated a few seconds, that she would be able to hide herself in the closet. Wait, Keiichi. Something doesn't make sense. She can't go to school, then what else should you do for lunch? Calm down already. I could just leave her my own lunch, couldn't I? I should just go to school without lunch and get everyone to split theirs with me. Okay, that's good. He's like 10 steps ahead of everything else. No more contradictions or oversights, right? Oh, breakfast and dinner. I could somehow get her to go without breakfast. I can go with 2 meals a day when I sleep in on Sundays, after all. Every night, I'd pretend as though I had a bigger appetite than ask for a bigger helping. Then I could just somehow give part of that to Satoko. As a test, sit up from my seat with a plate of fish in my hands.
どうしたのケイチ。ご飯は座って食べなさい。
うん。ちょっと気分が変えたくなってさ。
She's gonna say no.
自分の部屋で食べてもいいかな。
ボロボロ落として汚すぞ。食事は
There
食
goes,
卓で
and
食
it
べな
all
さい。
came crumbling down around him.
ごめん。
Hey, wait. Only tried to take away 1 plate of fish and they ganged up on me? In reality, it was impossible to smuggle away food without my parents knowing about it. But it must have been worth taking the time to think about. Must be some trick, some method to avoid them realizing. And if I can't think of one today, I might think of one tomorrow. Appetite was rapidly fading, so I finished early and went back to my room. Went back there and tried to think about it from Satoko's point of view. For example, let's say my parents were coming up the stairs right now. I've got to hide. I opened the closet. Clatter, clatter. Didn't open quietly. Hey, wait. Didn't it always open real smooth and quiet? Why was it suddenly doing this now? What is this, a faulty house? Had it already gotten old or something? Or just not putting enough work into it? Could I just plaster it with wax? He's like going nuts. Sound itself may have been soft, but it left me uneasy as to whether my parents would detect it happening when they climbed the stairs. This was an easy problem. I could do something about it. Just had to fix it up a little bit so they wouldn't make noise anymore. For now, I'll close myself in my closet as though I'd successfully hid. Basically, I always left my futon out on the floor. Couldn't think of any real reason my parents would want to go into my closet. Even so, there might still be some reason they would. Might need to construct some sort of camouflage so that she wouldn't be noticed even if they did open it. We're gonna make like a giant Satoko plushie face and just like have her sit there silently with button eyes. The more she worried about that, the less time she'd have to actually hide, meaning it would be more likely they'd hear a noise. And then I suddenly had to go to the bathroom. The bathroom? I need to use the toilet. So obvious and yet such a fatal flaw. Here's your shitting bucket, Satoko. Sit in this closet for 8 hours while I'm at school and relieve yourself. My bathroom was on the first floor. It'd be absolutely impossible for her to use it without my family realizing. I need to set up a portable toilet. Like a shit bucket. Like a chamber pot, I guess. Satoko would hate it, so she can go in my room. But the stench would be pretty terrible. Anyone sensitive would probably notice the smell without even coming into the room. The bath was okay, though. She could just take a bath when my parents were out. I couldn't do anything without a toilet. When her stomach started to hurt if my parents were lazing around downstairs, she'd be in trouble. It was then that I noticed that I'd been clawing at my head with both hands. I sat down in the dark closet with my knees against my chest. Buried my face in them and tore at my hair. The more I thought, the more contradictions popped up. The more I thought, the more things failed. The more I worried, the more I was reminded of how little power I actually had. My back started to hurt from staying in a cramped place for so long. But if I was able to shelter Satoko, I would need to force her to feel this pain. To live in such a dark, narrow, suffocating place forever. It would still be better than being abused by her uncle. Or so I wanted to think. It got hard to breathe, so I gave in and crawled out of the closet. Went to the clock, and to my surprise, it was 3:30 in the morning. It felt like so little time, but it was so unbelievably long. So how many hours has he spent between dinner and now trying to, like, are we going to guess like 5-6 hours rooting this around in his head? That's unnatural. That's not normal. When I realized that, I was slammed with a terrible urge to sleep as if the time had only just caught up with me. Didn't have enough strength to fight it, and I fell flat on my futon. Shit, I can't just go to sleep like this. If I waste any time, that'll mean I'm taking the same wait-and-see attitude that Mion and Coach and everyone else did. Needed to keep worrying about how to rescue Satoko for a minute, or even a second longer than everyone else. Isn't there a better way? Isn't there a better way? One phrase I spoke to myself swirled around and around in a spiral and steadily took over my entire mind. In my last moment of consciousness, I thought. There were a lot of blind spots in what I'd considered tonight, but I absolutely wasn't wrong for having those ideas. Tomorrow, I was just as bold planned to the others. Mion might be able to help somehow, and Reina was really sharp, so she might have a good suggestion. And above all, needed to rescue Satoko once again, with everyone helping out. Felt pathetic for letting myself fall asleep. I'm sorry, Satoko. Yeah, what we just did there was a little weird. That's not normal. Like, I know that he really wants to help, but like, you can't have her shit in a bucket in a closet for the rest of her life. That's not how one should live. The ceiling blurred into view. It was hot. There was a thin layer of moist sweat on me. The voice of the cicadas permeating my room were somehow grating to my head.
あれ今日日曜日じゃないよな
Remember today was a weekday and quickly brought myself to consciousness. Then finally I leaped out of bed. You're gonna be late for school, girl. Clock read a little before 10. I was totally late. When I wandered downstairs, my mom would get mad at me. Nothing I could do, though. Why didn't anyone wake us up? After reviewing the schedule for the school day for a moment, I suitably rearranged the stuff in my bag. Hurried and got dressed and went down the stairs. No sign of my parents anywhere. Maybe they went out somewhere together. So that's how it was. My mother had probably woken me up once this morning, but then I fell back asleep without remembering it. My parents, thinking I'd gone to school, left. Something like that probably happened. Went to the front door, and as I expected, it was locked. Looked like I was right. Further evidence of my speculation being correct. When I realized my parents weren't here, I suddenly felt less like I had to rush to get to school. There was one portion of breakfast left in the dining room. Probably mine. Milk they poured in had gone warm since a while ago. I realized how hard it would be to sneak food for Satoko. Yesterday, I cried. Well, thinking back on it, food wasn't the only issue in that regard. I wasn't in a position where I could bargo for Satoko by myself anyway. Such a heavy thing just to save a single person. Seeing this on TV and in comics all the time. Those feel-good words about how you'll save your friends for sure and such. Was that why I ran my mouth like that? Swearing to save her because I wanted to feel good about it? No, that absolutely wasn't true. Because the fact was I couldn't save her. Because I didn't want to think like an adult. Like I couldn't do anything but watch. Had Satoko gone to school today? I immediately realized that was a meaningless question. Whether or not she did, there wouldn't be a change in the environment she'd been placed in. If I couldn't save her, no one else could either. We could only pray for a miracle.
俺たちは無力か
Yeah, it kind of seems like it. The vague goal of getting to school in mind, I sluggishly put on my shoes and stumbled out the front door. I only overslept by 2 or 3 hours, but sunlight and air felt completely different from how they usually were in the morning. Well, of course they did. Once 10 o'clock came around, you could barely call it morning anymore. I didn't feel like walking the same old route to school. Needed to ultimately end up there, but it was like I didn't want to choose the shortest route, the most proactive one to get to school. Put in a more positive light, maybe I wanted some time to walk by myself and think. I had to go to school, partly to make sure Satoko was safe. But I hadn't come up with any plans yet. Nothing since last night. So the path I took from my house was in the complete opposite direction. I went this way, I'd pass Rena's house, and the dam site. It would be quite a detour. Calculated how long of a detour it ended up being, then, satisfied with the answer, I started to walk. Going the roundabout way. Rena had brought me to the dam site a few times. One section of it had turned into an unlawful, oversized garbage dump, and Rena really liked going fishing for junk in there. Without that, she'd come off as a completely normal girl, too. I could think of a few other qualities she could do without, but whatever. View quickly opened up wide, and I was hit by a strong wind. There was no shelter here at this big dam site. It was a good thing I came here, I thought. At very least, it was more healthy to think about stuff in a place like this instead of my cramped bedroom. Took a deep breath and filled my lungs with the rich, cold air unique to Hinamizawa. Ring, ring. Turned around reflexively. It was a bicycle bell. Considering where I was standing, I don't think they were trying to get me out of the way. They rang the bell because they wanted something from me. Hey, it's Tomitake! Hey, excuse me, you're from Hinamizawa, right? I don't think we've met Tomitake yet in this chapter. Yes, why? I've seen this person around a few times. Right, I remembered. His name, I think, was Tomitake, a freelance photographer who lived in Tokyo. He would zealously visit Hinamizawa every season to take pictures, or so Mian and the others told me, I think.
フルデ神社ってここからどう行けばいいか教えてもらえないかい？マップを宿に置いてきちゃったみたいでね。困ってたんだよ。
ここから神社ですか？
Knew everything was in my head, but explaining how to get there was difficult. Let's walk a little while, Tomitake. Bring your big, strong arms. You could carry me there, I'll direct you. I'm a little irritated at having been bothered for this, but then I realized quickly that my detour actually meant something that feeling faded quickly.
教えてもいいですけど、ちょっと口で説明するのは難しいです。一緒でよければ連れて行ってあげますけど。
え？それはかたじけないね。助かるよ。あ、でもいいのかい？君の用事
Well,
は。
technically I'm supposed to be in school, but I'd rather be walking with a handsome stranger. Tomitake-san finally appeared to have realized how strange it was for a student like me to be here at this time of day. I really told him not to worry about it, then turned my back and started walking towards the Furude Shrine. Tomitake-san hurried to his bike and came after me.
ごめん。気にしないでくれよ。男には組織を離れて
That's us.
一匹狼になりたい時もあるんだからね。
What a free-minded freelancer. It's easier for me too when he was under that impression. I'm Tomitake, freelance photographer, specialized in wild birds and landscapes. Still pretty unknown though. It seemed absurd for him to introduce himself when I was just showing him to the shrine, but he gave me his name, so I need to give mine back. I'm Maibara. Pleased to meet you, I guess. Maibara-kun, pleased to meet you. Seemed like a pretty silly man, but that felt kind of good considering I'd been suffocating with worry over Satoko all night. On the way, Tomitake-san spoke at length at me about how precious the nature in Hinamizawa was, and how it was a treasure trove of rare wild birds, despite my not having asked. I wasn't interested in what he had to say, but he seemed to be enjoying himself, so I left him to it.
この石段を上がれば神社の境内です。
ありがとう。助かったよ。ああ、ちょっと遅刻しちゃったかな。
Tomitake-san mumbled to himself. He left his bicycle nearby and tried to climb the stairs quickly. Didn't have a watch, but as far as my internal clock could guess, it was still a little late in the morning. School wasn't very far from here. Maybe I could kill a little more time until then. With that in mind, I went up the steps in pursuit of Tomitake-san. I reached the top of the long staircase. I arrived at the wide open shrine grounds that were too grand looking for this tiny village. Tomitake-san. Oh, there he is. Looked like he was supposed to be meeting someone here. And got lost and ended up being late. Was he maybe meeting, Takano? That's the only person that we've seen him with. Is Nurse Takano. He was bowing to a lady who must have been the person he was meeting. Oh, there she is. That lady, I knew her.
あら、前原くんじゃない。こんにちは。今日は学校はお休みかしら？
Yes. Yes, I
Okay.
am.
なんだ、ケイチ君ついてきたのかい？
別にそんなつもりはないですよ。ただちょっと時間つぶしがしたかっただけです。
Now, usually every time we meet Takano tells us something really scary or disturbing. So we should probably go to school now, Keiichi. We should probably leave.
重役出勤とは優雅なものね。さすがは有名人。今から大物ぶりを発揮してること。
What was I, a celebrity? She did say my name out of nowhere anyway. I was oddly concerned about what she meant by famous.
あら、私の名前はまだ思い出せない？
高野美代さんだよ。村の診療所に勤めてる。ケイチ君は健康そうだからあまり病院の
Yeah,
お
so
世話
then
に
how
は
do you know
な
our
らない
name,
な。
honey?
せっかくお知り合いになれたんだから、今度病気か何かできたら ちょっぴりだけサービスしてあげようかしらね。
So then if we've never been to the clinic, how do you know our name? My named Takano-san. I kind of didn't remember her. And we passed each other on the street a few times, but I was pretty sure this is the first time we talked. This is Hinamizawa. Even if I don't know a person's name, it's not unusual for them to know mine. Glanced at Takano-san, and she had a bag and a camera.
ひょっとして二人とも写真仲間ですか？あ、それで待ち合わせを。
仲間でなんてとんでもない。素人の私に二郎さんが優しくてほどきをしてくださるだけなのよ。ねえ。
I just assumed that they were like seasonal fuck buddies, is what I gathered from it.
そんなことないよ。高野さんは飲み込みが早いからね。僕の指導なんかなくても実に自由に撮影をこなすよ。本当さ。
Couldn't tell which of them was ahead in the conversation. Well, there were certainly one couple you wouldn't get tired of watching.
いよいよあさってが綿流しね。今年はいい写真が撮れるといいんだけど。
明日の設営シーンからレンズに収めるつもりだよ。そういう準備風景からもお祭りの活力を捉えたいんだ。
No, I just remembered. There was some village festival called Watanagashi or something the day after tomorrow on Sunday.
ひ
That's
な
when
み
the
さん
bodies
の
are
守
going to
り神
start dropping.
お社様に感謝するため古い布団を積み重ねて供養する、そんなお祭りでしたっけ？
Yeah, you shouldn't have mentioned
ごめん
Oyashiro.
と。
Because that's usually when Takano goes like, oh yeah, that's when someone's going to die. Oyashiro's
Bye-bye.
curse. Tee-hee-hee-hee.
越してきたばかりにしては博識ね。
Never a good idea to talk to Takano about
お
Oyashiro.
社様に感謝するためのお祭り。
Takano-san smiled somehow meaningfully, but didn't tell me what part of a festival to thank Oyashiro-sama needed to be laughed at.
やれやれ。高野さんは。でも、どうだろうね、今
Shut
年は。
up, Tomatake.
2度あることは3度ある。そしてもう4度あったのよ。5度目がないと言える方が何の根拠もないと思うけれど。
Shut up, Takano. You knew what they meant by their whispered exchange. In the day of Otanagashi, freak death always occur, which people call Oyashiro-sama's curse, and a disappearance occurs that people call being demoned away. Oh, that's right. Coach Irie talked to us about the deaths and the murders. He already talked to us about it. These strange events had happened 4 years running, and Watanagashi, rapidly approaching the day after tomorrow, marked the 5th.
村の旧敵にたたりをなすお社様か。今年もあるとして、果たしてその矛を受けるのは誰になるだろうね。あ、僕はここに来るたびにちゃんとお参りしてお賽銭を入れてる。僕じゃないことは確かだよ。
Well, I think in every chapter we've played so far, these two have wound up dead and missing, so I wouldn't say that yet, Tomatake.
近年のお社様は異邦人には特に厳しいって話よ。引っ越してきたばかりとはいえ、前原くんはちゃんとひなみ沢に住んでる村人だけど、二郎さんは毎年来るだけのただのよそ者。さーて、今年は見逃してもらえるかしら。
ひどい
What a
な。
nervous laugh. Otake-san was the only one with a pained grin, but we were all smiling, me included. Oishiro-sama, the one who used a curse to kill people involved with the dam construction project, went after the next. He killed the dam construction manager, killed Satoko's parents for supporting it. The next year he even killed her aunt. If the demoning away was part of that curse, then you could add Satoshi to the list of victims. As I thought about it, I realized that in the serial freak death incidents, the overwhelming majority had the last name Hojo. Half of the deaths and disappearances come from the Hojo family. The Hojo family lived here in Hinamizawa. Did that mean Oyashiro-sama punished and cursed them particularly harshly because, despite that, they've been in favor of the dam?
里子のおじが帰ってきたって話は聞いてますか？
Yeah, we hate that guy. Takano-san, who had been enjoying a few words with Tomatake-san, was caught unaware by my sudden inquiry.
あ、ごめんなさい。今なんて？
あ、いえ、里子の両親がたたり殺されて、おばもたたり殺されて、だったら順番的には 次はおじの番かなって思ったんです。去年のたたりでおばが無残な死に方をし、それに恐れをなして町に逃げていたやつですよ。お社様は確か村を捨てて逃げ出そうとするのは許さなかったですよね。
That's a very dark way of thinking, Keiichi. Does he think that Oyashiro is going to kill the uncle and like solve all of his problems with Satoko? I hadn't intended to be quite this persistent, but those words, they just floated out of my mouth without me thinking about it. Right. Oyashiro-sama's curse. I didn't believe in something so unrealistic, of course, but the fact was that every year, unfortunate accidents and incidents did happen to enemies of the village. Like Takano-san said just now, it had happened 4 times. No one could say there wouldn't be a 5th.
ふーん、面白い説ね。確かに過去の犠牲者を見れば北条姓が多いのは事実。その延長として考えれば、今年は叔父が死ぬか消えるかする可能性はいな
もう高野さんは
Yeah, not super funny.
起こるかもしれない不幸を笑うのは良くないよ。
ごめんなさいね。でもお社様のたたりは私の
Takano-san
ライ
gave
フ
off a
ワークだし。
mysterious, somehow intellectual impression, and her life's work was mysterious in its own right. She probably liked an inexplicable supernatural phenomenon or something.
高野さんはお社様のたたりに詳しそうですね。どうでしょう、北条の帰ってきたおじがたたりに会う可能
You're
性
like
は。
really invested in this.
あら何？
And who's to say that
そ
something won't
のお
happen to
じさんを
Satoko
殺
then if we
し
go
た
that
く
way of
て仕方
thinking?
がないみたいね。
She's a Hojo too. Yeah, that's what it seems like.
そんなんじゃないです。
どうだろうね。神様の気まぐれ次第だからね。
前原くん、サンタクロースの正体は知ってる？
Huh? Kind of strange question all of a sudden, and I couldn't immediately answer.
なに？知らないの？パパよ。みんなの家のパパ。
What? There's
なん
no
だ、そうい
Santa?
う意味ですか。そりゃそうですよ。どんなものの正体だって最終的には人間です。だってここは人間しかいない世界なんですから、全ての現象は人間で解明できるはずです。
I feel like I put that somewhat strangely, but Takano-san was not as dissatisfied with that reply as I might have guessed.
あら、その年齢のうちからそれに気づけるなんて。
Aren't we
なかな
like
かね。
16 or 17 years old?
そのと人間の世で起こる現象はすべて人間の都合で人間が起こす。では前原くん、もう一度尋ねるわよ。今度はサンタクロースじゃなくてお社様。お社様のたたりの正体は何かわかるかしら？
We've heard in other chapters that Oyashiro is likely people in the village that are taking revenge for Oyashiro. Takano-san took a step towards me and gazed into my eyes as she asked, Santa Claus is really the parents of every family's children. If lionizing that legend was a corporate tactic to try and profit during Christmas sales, then what is Oyashiro-sama really?
と、
あら、あなたが言ったのよ。ここは人間しかいない世界だって。すべての現象は人間で解明できるって。
She's not wrong.
圭一君、ここだけの話だよ。高野さんはね、お社様のたたりをめぐる一連の連続開始事件をね、ひなみ沢の村人が何かの儀式に基づいて行っている人為的殺人事件でないかと見ている。
Takano-san's view is that they might be premeditated
誤
homicide
解しないで
performed by
ね。
the people of Hinamizawa and based on some kind of ceremony. I think he just said that, but
私はそれに至る教義や思想、文化を民族学的見地から研究することがライフワークなの。別に犯人が誰かなんてことには全く興味がないのよ。そこだけ勘違いしないでちょうだいね。
I could tell at least that she was saying some crazy stuff. If I were to liken her statements to a meal, it would be sort of like she just tried to stuff a whole plate of duck in my mouth and now I couldn't say anything. It's a
そ
weird
もそも
analogy.
それを理解するためには ひなみ沢村が鬼ヶ淵村と呼ばれていた古代にまで遡らなければならない。
Right. So, like, in our last chapter, the Tanagashi chapter, we found that ritual tool shrine that had, like, all the torture implements. So the people of Hinamizawa used to, like, torture and kill people and send their bodies floating down the river as part of the cotton drifting festival to appease Oyashiro. And we're assuming that this is still going on today. Takano-san, having entered her home field, leaned forward and began to speak of ridiculous matters. Tomitake-san realized that she was overawing me and interrupted for me. I saw overawing me, and I thought something totally different.
高野さん。その話をいきなり圭一君にしても。ほら、彼も面食らってるよ。
あら、そう？続きに興味があったらいつでも言ってね。前原くんくらいの年頃の男の子が好きそうな猟奇的なお話が
We've heard some of your stories before. I'm not super interested. You like scaring kids. You're a monster.
ありがとうございます。気が向いたら
You're a bad adult. For now, I softly and safely gave my refusal. Takano-san seemed a little unhappy that Tomitake-san had rained on her parade, but she stopped talking about it then. Good. Shut up, Takano. Even so, it was still a very interesting story. That Oyashiro-sama's curse, which we thought of as a strange freak deaths, were really homicides, perpetrated by people of the village.
まあその常識的に考えればそうですよね。タタリなんかで人が死ぬはずない。誰かがタタリになぞらえて殺してるに決まってます。
But the police have never found any evidence of murder, so.
そうね。それが誰なのかは。
It's usually an accidental death. I mean, I guess Satoko's aunt was killed by that drug addict, they said. So, I mean, that's a case of murder, but usually everything else has been like a freak accident and a disappearance.
高野さんは知ってそうですね。証拠はないまでも確信を持っているくらいには。
あら、
She kind of felt it vaguely.
どうしてそう思うのかし
Didn't seem
ら。
like her extreme passion for this research could be explained just by these things being taboo or being safe and easy. The person loved walking through the profound, forbidden abyss of risks and taboos.
それくらいにしなよ、圭一君。せっかく助けてあげたのに、またお社様のたたりの話が始まっちゃうよ。涼しいうちに散策に行きたかったのにな。
Tomitake-san seemed a little disappointed not to be able to go on the date he'd planned since I brought up a weird topic. But right now, there was something I wanted to ask just for a little bit. And that was about whether Satoko's uncle will be chosen for the curse this year. If he was, then the miracle would happen, just like last year. Like, miracle though. Like you're wishing death on someone. That's not really a miracle. Terrible incident would happen again, but it would release Satoko from her unfortunate circumstances once more. I don't like this train of thought.
まあ、もちろん、おそらくあの辺りの人たちが関わってるんだろうなっていう鬼ヶ淵村の歴史を研究していれば、自然と至る必然的結末。
それは誰です？
What would I do if I knew? I asked that question to the other me deep inside, but got no reply.
熱心ね。それを知ってどうするつもりかしら？
別に。
知ったらあなたにも危険が降りかかるかもしれないわよ。5年目のたたりはあなただったりして。
Takano-san, toying with taboo, gave me a devilish, satisfied smile as though nothing in the world would be more amusing. She was probably trying to tease me, but I didn't feel like going along with her little game one bit.
偉そうな能書きでもったいぶってますが、高野さんだってよくは分かってないみたいじゃないですか。
You're like super disrespectful to adults lately. I felt a tinge of irritation at Takano-san's roundabout way of speaking. Those emotions escaped my mouth like water flowing through a strainer. Even I was surprised at how directly I had spoken about what I felt. Yeah, she's a grown woman. I don't care for her either, but yeah, of course I wasn't the only one taken aback.
あら、言ってくれるわね。坊やなのに挑発までできるの？意外に野生的ね。嫌いじゃないわよ、そういうの。
Takano-san's tongue poked out of her mouth, and I was convinced that it was long, thin, and split in the middle like a snake's.
ならいいわ。教えてあげてもよくってよ。 でも教えてあげる前に3つ誓ってもらうわ。私が何を教えても後悔しない、口外しない。私が言ったなんて絶対言わない。
Okay, so don't regret it, don't tell anyone, and don't tell anyone that Takano told us. She's such a bad adult. Gulped firmly and nodded. Otake-san made an exaggerated expression of distress, gave me a dry, vague smile, and lit a cigarette.
教えてください。タタリを下しているのは誰、タタる相手を選んでいるのは誰なんです？
Is it the Sonezake family? Or, I mean, maybe the heads of the family, I guess I should say. After I said that, I finally realized why I wanted to know. Ooh. Yeah, we're really fixated on Satoko's uncle dying, and I don't think that's, like, the path that we want to go down. I don't think that's what we want to do. Me and my classmates were playing freely in the schoolyard. A few of them had just run out of the school building after putting on their shoes and tapping their toes to the ground. But they had just finished eating lunch. From a time manipulating standpoint, I guess I succeeded.
前原さん、大丈夫なんですか？
Few girls noticed me and came running over. It's only natural they were worried. I think if someone wasn't there in the morning, they'd be out the rest of the day.
まあその遅刻さ、気にしないでくれ。それよりサトコはどうだ？今日は来てるか？
Girls exchanged glances. Saw a thin shadow fall over their faces and knew the answer without needing to hear them reply. Satoko was absent today too. All was said and done, after being out 3 days, she'd only come back for 1. Now she was out again. Who knew if she would come tomorrow?
うん。でも、さとこちゃんから電話があったって先生言ってました。
風邪って言ってたよね。みんな家に帰ったらうがいをちゃんとしましょうって先生言ってました。
Wait a minute, Chie-sensei. A little too thick-headed, don't you think? You're a teacher, aren't you? Can't you be a little more sensitive and catch on to the fact that your pupil is sending out an SOS? But even if she did, there was nothing we could hope for. What she could do was a home visitation. She didn't have any right to take Satoko from her uncle into safety. No matter the result, it would end up just like the public agencies, with a wait-and-see attitude. Just piss Satoko's uncle off, and suffering would only grow deeper. Wasn't saying she had a cold the best option?
そうだな。みんなも風邪に気をつけろよ。もう行っていいぜ。昼休みはまだ長いぞ。
Girls excitedly scattered into the schoolyard.
ケイチくん！
Mirna was yelling out the classroom window, waving her hand. A moment later, Mio and Rika-chan poked their heads out too.
ケイイチまでお休みしましたから、とても心配しまし。でもよかった。顔色もそんなに悪くないし、とりあえず元気そう。
Felt a little uncomfortable with her saying that I didn't look sick, but I didn't care that much.
どうしたの？寝坊？
遅刻は遅刻だろ。それとも電車の事故で遅刻したとでも言えば許してくれるのか？
Might be a stretch.
寝坊？
Mion was being a bit persistent. Was she going to put on her club president cap and scold me for being late? Maybe she didn't have it in for me, so I briefly stated that she was right.
まだね、お弁当あるよ。みんなで食べよう。やっぱりね、ケイチくんがいないと盛り上がらないよね。
サトコは休みなんだな。
Even Reina, feigning cheerfulness, couldn't stand to hear that, and her face darkened.
朝、電話があったらしいよ。風がぶり返したから、また休むってさ、長引くかもしれないって言っ
It's
て
a really
た。
sad chapter.
かわいそうなので、みんなでお見舞いに行こうという話が出ていますのですよ。
何言ってんだよ、リカちゃん。
Not pleased with Rika-chan wearing a wide smile as though it was a happy occasion, I threw cold water on her. Not literally, I guess.
サトコが風邪なんか
The
じゃない
best
こ
of
と
all
は
shouldn't have a cold.
俺たちがたとえ冗談でも二度とそういう白々しいことを言うな。次は怒るからな。
Rika-chan furrowed her brow, looked down, and mumbled an apology.
ケイチくんだけじゃないよ。みんな辛いよ。
俺だけが悩んでるなんて思ってない。でもみんな何もできないのは本当だろ。
それはそうだけど。でも
Got the feeling I would cause another fight if this exchange went on. So I apologize first.
ごめん。謝るから、今の話は忘れてくれ。辛いのは、みん
Yeah,
な
we
も
were
同
kind of a
じだよ
dick
な。
yesterday. Let's just, like,
あ
let it slide. Let's all come together and find a way to help Satoko. It was at least clear, however, that I was the only one who had worried so much about rescuing her. At the very least, everyone else probably got the normal amount of sleep last night. Probably had good dreams, too. They definitely hadn't stayed up all night thinking so desperately.
登校してきていきなりこんなこと聞いて気を悪くするかもしれないけど、ケイちゃん今日遅刻したよね。サトコが今日欠席したこととは関係ある？
We were up last night obsessing about her.
Huh?
Yeah.
ミオ、お前、何の話してるんだ？
ケイちゃんはたまにちょっとつ盲信なところがあるからね。今朝サトコと一緒にケイちゃんも休んだ時、サトコを家から連れ出してどこかにかくま
Well,
った
we
んじゃ
did
ない
think
かって
about it.
本気で思った。
Easy for you to say. If I could have, I'd have done that last night. None of them had really thought about how difficult that clear of day solution was. I was up thinking all night, thinking until the night was brightening. And then I concluded that I couldn't do anything of the sort.
バカかお前。人間一人かくまうなんて、できるもんかよ。
そうだね。ごめん。気を悪くしたなら謝るよ。
別にいいよ。それより、飯にしようぜ。腹が減ってんだ。
Took my bento box out of my bag. Everyone moved to make a spot for me to sit.
前原く
Ooh,
ん
she got a furrow brab too.
今来たんですか？
Just as I was about to stick my chopsticks in, Chie-sensei came along.
あ、はい。遅刻してすみません。寝坊しまして。
What the heck? And the teacher was giving me that strange look.
お弁当を食べたら委員長と前原くんは職員室に来てください。ちょっとお話がありますので。
Probably about Satoko, I thought. So I left it at that and went back out into the hallway.
弁当を食うまでもないだろう。行こうぜ、ミオ。
そうだ
What
ね。
else wants to talk about? Mion and I exchanged looks, nodded to each other, and got up.
さとこちゃんの話
Maybe we're gonna like bring homework or schoolwork over there or something? No doubt about it. They were saying she had a cold, but everyone in class knew the truth. Anything that wouldn't have reached the teacher's ears by now.
僕がずっととぼけるので僕に聞くのをやめたのでしょう。
Letting the truth to the teacher would only worsen the situation. Was that why she hadn't said anything? Or was it because she was Satoko's friend and knew that she was trying to endure the trial of her uncle's abuse in order to get her brother to come home?
どうする？今のうちに私たちなりの統一見解を出した方がいいかもね。
リカちゃんはどうしたい？
Satoko's closest and best friend was Rika-chan. However much I pretended to be her Nini, it didn't come close to the amount of time they'd spent together. So I felt like her opinion should be held in the highest regard.
俺は、サトコがどうしておじにいじめられてるのを耐えてるか知ってる。
Everyone looked startled and turned to me.
昔のサトコはいじめられるときっと泣きながら兄の背中に隠れてた。でも結局そのせいで兄が逃げてしまったんだとサトコは思ってる。
誰に聞いたのかな。
監督
Mm-hmm.
か。
I nodded quietly.
サトコはおじのいじめに耐えれば兄が帰ってくると信じることによって、でもそんな思い込みとサトシが帰ってくるのはサトコには悪いがそれが現実だ。
Everyone hung their heads. Everyone was thinking the same thing.
サトコは多分誰の助けも喜ばない。自分一人の力で耐え忍びたいと思ってる。でもそれを尊重してやるのが果たして正しいだろうか。俺は思わない。一時サトコに恨まれることになろうと俺はそれが今じゃないかと思ってる。
Told them all about what I saw and how I felt when I went to Satoko's house yesterday.
圭一君は話すべきだと思
Yeah,
ってる
maybe
って
maybe
こ
we
と
should
だ
tell the
ね。
teacher. Like, let's stop worrying about it ourselves and put it in the hand of the adults and let them sort it out.
もちろん公的機関への通報で聡子が保護されるのが確定してからだ。その確認のないうちは聡子をかえって危険にさらすこともありえるからな。
難しいね。先生との会話の中でその確約ってのが取
I
れ
had
る
no
わけ。
confidence, but we had to try. Meanwhile, Rika-chan had her hand raised for a while as if asking for an opportunity to speak.
圭一に任せますです。
いいのかいリカちゃん。
圭一はここにいる誰よりも聡子のことを考えていますです。その圭一が話すべき時だと判断したなら、僕は文句なんか言わないのです
Rika's
よ。
so good.
ありがとう。ミオンもレナもそれでいいか。
Mion seemed to hesitate, not knowing if she should agree. But when she saw Reina's firm nod, she made up her mind and did the same.
よし行くぞミオン。
Alright, we're counting on you, Chie. Teacher Chie. Only Chie-sensei was in the teacher's lounge. We didn't see the principal anywhere. Schedule on the blackboard under the principal's name said training, going straight home. Principal's sense of justice was too strong. Satoko's problems wouldn't be solved with something so vague. Maybe it was just a stroke of good luck that he wasn't here. Teacher saw Mion and I come in. She closed up her curry bento, saving the rest for later.
そこへおかけなさい。
Told us to take a seat in the chairs directly in front of the principal's seat. I hadn't sat in this chair since doing the paperwork for transferring in. Two of us sat there uncomfortably before the teacher walked over, carrying a notebook and a ballpoint pen, and sat in front of us.
前原くん、今日は午前中お休みでしたけど、何かありましたか？
すみません寝坊です。
本当に？
先生に嘘言っても。
Narrowed her eyes at me in suspicion. Now I was sure of it. She wanted to talk about Satoko.
まず、二人とも知ってると思いますけど、お友達の北条さんがここしばらくお休みしてますね。
Neither Mion nor I had anything to say in response. The teacher proceeded, not minding.
何か知っていますか？クラスで良くない噂をしている人たちがいま
They're
す。
not bad rumors if they're true. Mion looked down and remained silent as though she was being lectured. She sent me a quick glance. Everyone had made up their minds. They'd be leaving things to me.
委員長、前原くんも。先生は別に怒ってるんじゃありませんよ。もしも知っていたら、教えてほしいとお願いしているだけです。
先生先にこっちから質問してもいいですか？
Must not have anticipated that response. She looked surprised.
クラス中で聡子のどんな噂が飛び交ってるかは知りませんが、仮にその噂が真実だったとして先生はどうするつもりですか？
どうするもこうするも、その話が本当なら放っておけません。
放っておけないって具体的にはどう放っておけないん
His
ですか？
eyebrows shut up. Maybe I said it like I was trying to pick a fight.
前原くん、先生は真面目にお話ししてるんですよ。
先生こそ俺はすごく真面目な話をしているんです。まず答えてください。真実だったとして
Sensei
どう
took a
放っ
few
てお
breaths
けないん
and
です？
began to speak slowly.
まず状況を確かめるために北条
おじに怒鳴りつけられて追い返されるかもしれませんね。まあいいや、仮におじと聡子に会えたとします。それで
そして真意を聞きます。その事実が確認できたなら指導します。
Well, they're not gonna tell you.
指導って曖昧な言い方はやめてください。具体的には何をするんですか？
Despite my tone being so provocative, Chie-sensei bit back her emotions and listened calmly. Thought then that she was a good teacher. Chie-sensei really did have her students' best interests at heart. But she didn't have the power or the authority to save Satoko. If she let her sense of justice run away with her, the situation would get more complex. Sensei folded her arms, and for a few moments she closed her eyes as though mentally concentrating. When they opened again, There was a strictness in her eyes I'd never seen before.
児童福祉法という法律があります。この法律で児童に対する虐待は何人に対しても認められていないことが明記されています。
らしいですね。それで
沖宮の生活相談所へ通報します。さっき前原くんは追い返されると言いましたね。この相談所の職員は必要に応じて警察官を同行させることができます。恫喝には絶対に屈しません。
その福祉士というお役所の人は連絡
Being
して書
very
類で
direct with this
即日です。
grown woman.
彼らの仕事は児童の安全を緊急に保護することですから。
知ってますよ。緊急性があると判断された場合ですよね。認められなかったら先生と同じ指導をして様子見をするんですよね。見てるだけ。聡子の叔父の機嫌を悪くして聡子をその場に残したままそれっきり。
ケイちゃん、
Yeah, we're
ちょっと言い過ぎ
talking。like a grown man, and we are not.
嘘はついてないだろ。去年だか一昨年だかに児童相談所が来た時がまさにそうだったんだろう。その結果どうなった？俺よりもミオンや先生の方がよっぽどよく知ってるだろうが。
I didn't need Mion to tell me that. She's talking crazy and itching for a fight. Supposed to be telling her about the situation only after I was sure we could save Satoko, but basically told her everything right from the start. Chie-sensei looked at the clock, stood up, and picked up the phone at the principal's seat.
もしもし、内線の3455をお願いします。
いいのケイちゃん。本当に大丈夫かな。
It was too late. Dice had been cast. Now we could only pray.
お世話になっております。ひなみ沢文庫教諭の千恵と申しますが、指導室の渡辺主事はいらっしゃいますでしょうか。はい、ええ。ちょっと急用がございまして、至急校長と連絡が取りたいのですが、はい、お願いします。緊急とお伝えください。よろしくお
She
願い
put
し
down
ま
the
す。
phone, tilted her head back, and took a breath like I always did.
二人にもう一度だけ聞きます。クラスのみんなの噂は
We
す
might
べ
as
て
well
本
tell her
当
we've
な。
told her
Hi.
like everything else. We've heavily implied it.
俺は昨日聡子の家に行って実際にどういうことになっているのか見ました。
あとは先生に任せてください。聡子ちゃんはきっと先生が何とかします。
なんとか？いい加減なことを言わないでください。なんとかじゃない。絶対でなければならない。もしもまた様子見なんてことになったら先生はどう責任を取るつもり
Someone
で
needs
す
to
か？
smack this little boy. I was yelling, the phone rang. Chie-sensei snatched the receiver up first.
もしもし。あ、研修中申し訳ありません。はい。実は例の北条聡子さんの件でお話が。はい。
Sensei waved us away, telling us we could leave now. Mion went to leave, but I held my ground. I had a responsibility to make sure she stopped saying such vague, ambiguous things. Didn't look like she was going to say anything substantial, then I'd tell them the truth. Even if I had to steal the phone from her.
はい。いえ、まだ相談所には。はい。まだ確認はしていませんが、クラスのこの話では相当な様子です。
相当なんてもんじゃないぞ。すぐにだ。今すぐ何とかしろ。通報するならどこへだっていい。でもな、もしも様子見なんてことになってみろ。ただじゃ済まさないからだ。
I yelled angrily at Sensei, and the principal on the other end. I wanted to somehow, some way, convey to them just how dangerous their situation was right now.
それは分かっています。ちゃんと伝えますから。委員長、前原君を連れて教室に
Take
戻り
this
なさい。
little boy back to the classroom before I smack the shit out of him. You don't talk like that. I'm very sorry that you're upset about Satoko. You
あ、
don't
はい。
get him
行
out
くよ
of
ケイ
here.
ちゃん。あとは先生たちに任せよ。
絶対だぞ。
Until the very last moment, I glared at Sensei. Chie-sensei was being pressured by the likes of me. Idiot, this isn't the time to feel pressured. That's time when you give me a firm nod that'll set my mind at ease. And so we've already left things in our hands. At this point, we really can't do anything but pray. Bang. Mion shut the door to the teacher's lounge. That was intense. I don't know what's gonna happen to Sadako, but Keiichi's gonna get his little ass whooped. You do not talk like that to a grown-up. Oh my god. Okay, so we got 2 new tips. Dope. Okay, so we got an achievement, influence. Let's view our new tips. Article. Article 2, definition of child abuse. The term child abuse means the following acts committed by a custodian, meaning a person who exercises parental authority, a guardian of a minor or other person, who is currently engaged in the custody of a child. Hereinafter the same shall apply. Against a child, meaning a person who is under the 18 years of age, hereinafter the same shall apply. 1. Assault the child in a manner that will cause or is likely to cause external injury on the body of a child. Engage in indecency against a child or cause a child to engage in indecency. Substantially reduce the amount of food for the child or abandon and neglect the child for a long period of time in a manner that may interfere with normal development of the child mentally or physically, or otherwise materially fail to perform the duty of a custodian. Or speak or behave in a manner that would be significantly traumatic to the child. Article 3. Prohibition of child abuse. No person shall abuse a child. Law number, Act number 82 of 2000. Authored by the Minister of Health and Welfare. Well, a lot of those categories seem to fall under Satoko. I don't think that she's being sexually abused. I mean, she might be. We haven't seen anything that would indicate that, but she's definitely being physically abused. And emotionally. Year 19. Principal abusers. Cases reported to the Ministry of Health and Welfare. Total, 5,352. Mother by blood, 2,943. Mother not by blood, 203. Father by blood, 1,445. Mother not by blood, 488. Year 19. This is by type of abuse. Total, 5,352. Physical abuse. These are just statistics. I don't have to read them. You can look at the numbers yourself. So is that just to kind of show us that she's just like another statistic in the system? Like, maybe that's one of the reasons why the welfare office is not super convinced or super into helping her, because they have like thousands and thousands of ongoing cases. I'm assuming. I don't know. But cool. Okay, that was a little bit of a shorter chapter. So this has been episode 7 of our Tatarigoroshi chapter. I apologize. I've been trying to get more of these videos up, but like my schedule is just not allowing it. So I'm going to try right now to do at least 1 a week, 2 if I can, but expect another episode up soon within the next week for our chapter 8, and I appreciate y'all watching. So I'll catch you for the next one. Peace.